I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It is brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in studio today, Terri Lemmel with the DeWitt County Genealogical Society. Good morning, Terri. Good to see you.
Good morning, Seth.
Thanks for coming out and talking with us, and we've got a lot to dive into. Let's start out and just give folks a general reminder. What is the Genealogical Society? What do you all do?
Well, basically, we help families build their family tree. Anybody can come in on Thursdays. We staff the genealogy room at Vespasian Warner Library, and we're there basically all day. Other times can be arranged in advance, but we can help people find things, and people who visit us are often really amazed by the amount of materials that we have and resources.
Yep, a lot of access to a lot of things. Certainly kind of helps narrow that family tree down. Is it exclusive to DeWitt County? Like if someone in a smaller community, but maybe they have ties to Clinton, can they come down and participate with you?
Certainly. We have a whole row of books that is other counties in Illinois, and then we have an entire wall that's other states. We don't really have anything international. We can give some suggestions on websites to visit, but yeah, if it's in state or in the United States, we've got quite a few resources.
That's fantastic. Very good. And of course, you're active in so many other ways too. We're going to talk about some of that here this morning, starting with your bus tour that we mentioned when you came in last time with us. Remind us, the bus tour. What is it? When is it? And what are you doing?
Well, this is our 50th year of the Genealogical Society. It was formed in 1974. And we're celebrating by offering written in stone a bus tour, visiting mainly old cemeteries and the history that's reflected in those cemeteries. So it's October 26th. We will start taking reservations on October 1st. And this is very important. To make a reservation, you need to call. It's the library's phone number, but you don't talk to the library. They have a new phone system. Wait until you hear the genealogy, extension 6, then leave a message with your name, your callback number, and how many seats you'd like to reserve. Then you'll get a callback with detailed instructions.
Okay.
We'll be meeting at 10 o'clock, and it'll the first 3 cemeteries we're going to visit are in the Kinney area. Then we're coming back to the library for lunch and to tour the genealogy room. And then we're going to Weldon and DeWitt and then back to Clinton. So it's roughly 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Okay, good. Now, what in particular are you highlighting about these cemeteries? Is there something specific you're looking into?
We're going to point out 2 different Revolutionary War patriots' graves. The founder of Kinney, the first settlers. We're going to do a grave witching demonstration.
What is that?
Where you take 2 copper rods to find out if there's a burial that's not marked.
Oh, interesting.
And there's going to be a segment on the supernatural for those who are interested in that aspect. I know a lot of people are.
Cool.
And along the way, we're also going to talk about a lot of DeWitt County history and point out different historically significant places around the county.
Yeah. Have you had to put in a lot of research to make this trip happen?
Well, a lot of the research has been done. It's a matter of putting it all into a comprehensive program.
Will there, like when you get to the cemetery, I'm sure you'll get out for demonstrations and talks and that sort of thing?
One thing to remember, this is a rain or shine event. So the weather being nice, yes, we'll get out and take a close look at some of the grave sites that we're going to talk about. And then there are 2 prerequisites. Participants must be 14 or older and must be able to board and disembark a school bus.
Okay. All right. So keep that in mind. So you're talking maybe 4 or 5 stops, I think you said, between all the cemeteries and everything?
Well, there are 5 stops at cemeteries, and then the lunch stop.
Yeah,
between.
sure. Gotcha. Very good. Did you say how much this is? You may have said it and I missed it, Terry. I'm sorry.
It's free.
It's
to the
free.
public,
Hey,
yes,
can't beat
including
that.
The lunch.
There you go. A free lunch. Who's going to turn that down, right?
Yeah. Well, and it's partially funded by a grant from America 250 grant from the Daughters of the American Revolution. The local chapter is helping us sponsor this event and work it. So
Okay.
we're very grateful for that.
So 50, is there a tie between the 50 years of the Genealogical Society and any of the folks you're highlighting at these cemeteries? Is there a tie there at all, or a reason for putting this on other than the 50th?
It's just something that I've really always wanted to do. I think people will be really interested to go on it. And of course, space is limited.
Excuse me. Have you had much interest to this point?
Yeah, I've had a lot of questions about it.
Good. That's good to hear.
But then we're not taking reservations until October 1st because really just to try to keep it all organized.
Okay, gotcha. So after October 1, start to think about registering for this program. Did we miss anything on it, Terry, in talking about it? Anything that we didn't touch on?
Well, I want to accentuate that the number to call is 217-935-5174, extension 6.
Okay.
Library staff is not taking the reservations. When you leave a message at that extension, that goes directly to our email, so we can keep track of it ourselves.
Okay.
The library staff isn't involved.
All right. So keep that in mind when you do call for that to reserve your spot on the tour. Again, Terry, the when and where on that?
It's October 26th. We'll be meeting in the old Save-A-Lot parking lot. You can park there and board the bus. Then that's also where we'll disembark, obviously, when the tour is finished.
All right. Again, that is Terri Lemmel with the DeWitt County Genealogical Society, our guest in studio for today, talking about the Genealogical Society's 50th anniversary this year and their bus tour that they're hosting in October. Terry, let's dive into another kind of project you're working on in relation to cemeteries. What's going on? I know this one at Woodlawn Cemetery. What's happening there?
Well, we recently created 2 binders about the soldiers buried at the soldiers' plot. You know, they're all Civil War veterans. And some of them had not clearly been identified. You know, a lot has been written about them by Joey Long. And Tony Long did a great video about the soldiers' plot. But there are still some things to uncover, and we found out quite a bit. I put together some statistics that you might be interested in.
Sure. What do you have?
There are 80 soldiers buried there, and we know 75 of those where they were born. Only 2 of them were born in DeWitt County. You got to remember, in the 1860s we were still really growing. People were coming here from other places. 6 of them who were buried there were born in other Illinois counties. 23 from Ohio, 6 from New York, 5 from Indiana, 5 from Kentucky, 4 in Tennessee, 4 in Pennsylvania, 3 in New Jersey, 3 in Virginia, and 1 each in Vermont, Massachusetts, Maryland, and Missouri. 2 of them were born in Canada, 3 in Germany, and 5 in England.
No kidding. Interesting.
So at least 25 of the 80 settled here after the war. Clinton really saw a big influx of people after the Civil War.
Evidently.
Yeah, it really grew.
Evidently. That's really cool, though. That's really cool. So you said you're putting together a binder with this kind of information in it then?
2 binders, actually. There are 2 volumes. And it has a lot of information about the history of the cemetery, because that's actually how Woodlawn Cemetery began. The library has asked me to write a history blog, and a lot of these first few blogs will be about the soldiers' plot and the monuments there and the people buried there.
Okay.
Some of their biographies would be a little bit shocking.
How so?
Well, of the ones that died during the war years, there were 38 who died between 1861 and 1865. So 13 of them were killed in action or died soon after they were wounded. and 16 of them died from disease of one kind or another. And 2 of them survived the war, only to be killed in an accident within a year or 2 after coming home.
Yeah.
So it's just really interesting. There are some who, one was a victim of murder, and there was a murder-suicide, and one led a crime family.
No way. Wow, that's cool. That's interesting.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, that's cool. So where are you at in the process of putting these binders together?
They're completed and on display at the Genealogy Library.
That's really nice. That's awesome.
And the blog can be accessed by going to vwarner.org. If you just scroll down a little bit, you'll see a tab that says Library Blog.
Yeah.
You can find those there.
Do I remember right? We talked about, I feel like we talked about the blog last time you were in. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yes, none had been posted yet. There have been 2 of them posted now. It's
Okay.
monthly.
A monthly blog. Okay. So, and you go to the library website, you said, and find it there. So will your theme, you said the first few will kind of focus on these binders about the soldiers' plots?
Yes.
Yeah. What do you envision for some of your other posts as you go forward, Terry?
I don't know. If you look through the old newspapers, there are just all sorts of ideas.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Crime, you wouldn't believe some of the crime that occurred back in the early 1800s.
Yeah. I know the library's had a few kind of programs about that, so
Right.
that would be kind of cool to piggyback on those sorts of things for sure. Yeah, definitely. That's really cool. Well, we look forward to it, and reading those. So check it out at vwarner.org. That's where Terry's blogs will be as well. And you mentioned the binders. Those are in the genealogy room at the library now then.
That's right.
When did you start that?
The binders?
Yeah.
About the first part of July. It took about 2 months to get it all researched and
That's
put
it?
together.
Oh, wow. Holy smokes. You flew through that. That's crazy. I feel like that would take a couple of years or something like that.
Well, we used every resource we could think of. We compared family trees, and we looked at old newspaper articles, and we looked at probate records, and
That's what I mean. That just feels like a long process, but to get it done in 2 months, that is impressive. So when you put your mind to it, right?
I'm retired now, so,
That too, for sure.
I'm doing what I love.
Yeah. Now, Terry, I know that you spend some time at the library. Is it once a week in the genealogy room?
Volunteers staff the genealogy room every Thursday.
What times?
From 10 to 4, and we do go out for lunch in between, but...
Well, how dare you do that?
Well, we get hungry.
No. So 10 to 4 on Thursdays. But you did mention when we got started that if folks want to kind of talk with you about something they're working on, or they've got a question about maybe some research they're doing, you will meet with them?
At the circulation desk, they have a little list of volunteers who are willing to come in, and they will call and see if somebody's available. And usually somebody is who can come in and help a researcher that drops by.
That's cool.
Of course, we can also be reached through our website,
Which is?
DeWitt County Genealogical Society.com. And our email also, DeWittCGS@gmail.com.
All right. So check out the Genealogical Society there. Are you on Facebook or any of the social medias?
We also have a Facebook page, which is DeWitt County Genealogical Society.
What do you post there?
Oh, all sorts of stuff. Some of it's local, some of it's general stuff about doing research or new resources that are available online.
Okay.
All sorts of stuff.
All right. Very good. Well, Terry, I'll tell you what. Let's break here. We'll come back with some more. Terri Lemmel with the DeWitt County Genealogical Society, our guest in studio this morning. More to come with Terry on the morning show.
WHOW. More information.
Let's check the markets now on the RFD Radio Network. I'm Jim Taylor. Green across the board with corn, beans, and Chicago wheat. December corn up 1 3/4, 4.14 1/4. March corn up 1 3/4, 4.32 1/2. May corn 4.42 3/4, up 1 1/2. November beans up 13 1/2, 10.19 1/2. January beans up 13, 10.37 3/4. March beans 10.52 up 12 3/4. In the wheat complex, December wheat up 4 1/4, 5.80. March wheat up 4 1/4, 5.99 3/4. October bean meal up 220, 320.20. October bean oil 41.16, up 61 cents. Livestock market, October feeders down 82 cents, 239.92. October live cattle down 17 cents, 178.62. October lean hogs 81.50, down 27 cents. Energy market, October crude oil 71.01, down 18 cents.
The WHOW Morning Show is now video streamed live on the WHOW WEZC DeWittDailyNews.com Facebook page and on the new WHOW TV YouTube channel. Watch Morning Show host Seth Lawrence interview guests live, as well as watch archived video podcasts of any interview you missed. Whether on Facebook or YouTube, we're providing 2 more ways that Central Illinois' local news station, WHOW, delivers compelling content for you.
As a nonprofit thrift store, Love It Once More in Clinton relies on your donations to help us help others. So right now, if you bring us a donation, we'll give you a card good for 10% off your purchase. So bring us a donation where it stays local to help local. See us on Facebook, Instagram, and DeWittDailyNews.com.
Hi, this is Ryan Utterback with Utterback Real Estate. Do you know what time it is?
It's time for apple pie, pork sandwiches, and river wrap potatoes.
You're right, it's time for the Apple and Pork Festival. And that's why you're the other Ryan.
And for real estate, visit their icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Terri, Lemmel, DeWitt County Genealogical Society, in studio with us here for today. And Terri, I know you'll be out at Weldon Springs for a special day coming up there. Tell us the when, the where, and what you're going to be talking with folks about out there.
Yes, Community Day at Weldon Springs. It's October 5th. That's a Saturday. They're inviting people to pack up a picnic and bring the kids. It's from 11 to 4. There will be a variety of tables set up from nonprofit organizations in the concession area. And the Weldon Springs Foundation is providing some games, and so I think they have some prizes of some sort. I think they're going to make s'mores. I'm not sure. But it sounds like a fun time.
And you will be out there. What are you going to be talking about?
Our table is mainly going to deal with tombstone cleaning and cemetery preservation. We're always looking for volunteers. It takes a lot of volunteer work to maintain an old cemetery. So the Genealogical Society, in conjunction with the DeWitt Clinton chapter of the DAR, did 3 cleaning sessions this summer at Tunbridge Cemetery, which is out by Kenny. And this is the kind of thing you can achieve this is done with 3 cleanings with a product called D2.
Not DEET, which I had mistaken it for D2.
You'd be surprised, actually, how much grime comes off with just water and a soft scrub brush.
Yeah.
And kids seem to really be drawn to this activity. It's something they can do. The D2 is non-toxic, so you don't have to worry about them handling that.
Yeah, I know Kelby McMath at the junior high school has been doing a lot of stuff like this with his kids. So that's really, it feels like it's an effort growing among the youth, for sure.
Well, it's a great family activity. You can spend, the sessions that we spent out at Tunbridge Cemetery were just 2 hours each. It's not like a all-day grueling affair.
Yeah.
And you can do quite a bit in not that much time.
Yeah, so if somebody's taking this on, whether maybe it's like a group like the Scouts, not necessarily the Scouts, but a group like that, do they need to do any notification of the Genealogical Society that they're doing that, where they're going, whose plots they're working on? Do they have to do anything like that?
That depends. I spoke with Tunbridge Township Cemetery Board because the 3 cemeteries we're visiting in Tunbridge Township on the bus tour are all under the jurisdiction of Tunbridge Township. So I wanted to let them know that we were going to be there and what we were doing, and got their blessing to do it. There are some little cemeteries that are on private property, so you would need to talk with the property owner first. But otherwise, it's usually well accepted. And one of the points of the bus tour is to try to garner some volunteerism, not only to clean tombstones, but there are many in the old cemeteries that need repair. They've either been hit by a falling tree branch or,
Vandalism,
some other
yeah.
disaster. And there are ways to fix those. If you go on YouTube, you can find a ton of videos on how to repair old tombstones.
No kidding.
So I'm hoping that we can get some volunteerism going and work on some of our old cemeteries,
Yeah.
because we're going to lose them if we don't. And I feel like they're significant to our local history.
Yeah, absolutely. And to that end, I feel like DeWitt County has just a special appreciation for its cemeteries, its history, their history, its history. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of concerted efforts towards the cemeteries in DeWitt County.
Well, and when the Genealogical Society was formed, there was also a separate historical society. But that historical society no longer exists. So we kind of fill in a little bit. I mean, our main focus is studying the people, but you can't really totally separate the people from the events and the places.
Right. Yeah, let's speak to volunteerism. We've talked in the break, Genealogical Society in need of volunteers. What do you ask of your volunteers? And what do they do? What do they, what do they have to, what do they have to offer for the Genealogical Society? How about that?
Well, I might mention at this point that two of our most recent members were a little surprised, I think, at finding themselves doing so much research on these soldiers and learning all the stuff that they could learn. And I think they've really benefited from that. It helps you grow as a person when you do those kinds of things. And really, we do have a monthly meeting, and some members attend, some members don't. Some members come in and staff the library on Thursdays. Some of them come half a day, some of them come all day. Some of them take research home with them to do. So it's just a matter of how involved you want to be.
Sure. Well, Terri, I don't mean to do this to you. We are really running short on time. Best way for folks to learn about becoming a volunteer, the bus tour, the community day at Weldon Springs, all those things. Where do they go? How do they get information on that?
Well, you can come to the library anytime, and in the lower level where our room is, we have a display case in that hallway, and we keep membership forms or our brochure in there.
Okay, very
People
good.
can take one of those. And
All right, so check them out at the library. Terri Lemmel with the DeWitt County Genealogical Society. Network News is now.
The Big 1520 WHOW Clinton, 92.3 FM, W220.